Hi, welcome to Strong as You Think. So, today I want to talk about self care. So, there's a lot of talk right now about real self care versus other self care. And a lot of what I do in my work is talk about what maybe things we consider as self care. And it's really important. It's those things that we can do that give us lasting results, that give us lasting change in our lives. And a lot of times I think we think this is the way. And it's super important. But sometimes we are at a place in our lives where we almost just can't get the energy up to take care of that real self-care, because real self-care sometimes takes some work, right? So what if we are in a place in our lives where we're overwhelmed, we're tired, or we just don't know if we have it in us to start this real self-care, to start the work to take care of ourselves, to dig in. So this is when some of the other self-care comes into play, and I call that maybe temporary self-care. And that's the things where, like, maybe it's okay to eat some comfort food. Maybe it's okay to spend some time watching Netflix or TV. Maybe it's okay to take a rest on the couch, take a half day off or a day off, whatever it is you need. Maybe it is okay to go to the spa. I think when we talk about self-care these days, we think we're doing one at the expense of the other. And it doesn't have to be at the expense of the other. I think to have a full, engaged, functioning life, we need both. Now, it is a problem if we go to the easy self-care every time, go to the pampering, go to the indulging without making it a priority to, after we have refilled our cups, to go back to work on some real self-care, to do some things that will give us some lasting help. But I think both are important. Maybe the temporary self-care is almost like triage. It's almost like emergency care. When things are rough, we take care of it. We do what needs to happen to take care of the symptoms, right? The immediate problem. And that's even like taking things off our schedule. That's going to get pampered. That's watching TV. That's all those things that bring this kind of immediate help. But so important to do that in the moment, but we have to have that foresight to know that later we need to dig in and find out what's really going on, what's really the problem, because what's going to happen if we don't do that real self-care later, if we don't dig into what's going on in our brains and in our bodies, those things might sabotage us later. And then when we're feeling overwhelmed, we just go back over and over to those temporary self-care and wonder why we're not making any progress. So I just want to offer that both are important, that we don't need to look down on ourselves for taking those temporary measures to get us in a place where we are ready to do the work. And I work a lot with you on how to do the real self-care, and it is work, but it's so exciting on the other side. When we can dig in there and find out what is stopping us, what is keeping us from what we really want, that's the magic. And we can do that, but we have to make sure that we get ourselves into a space where we've re-energized. And one is temporary and one gives more permanent results, but we need both. So just look at it in your life and maybe make a limit on when you need your temporary self-care that you're treating the symptoms, and when you're going to go to the real self-care, which is going to go after the root of the problem. And Don't get stuck in either one. If you do too much real self-care with no reboot, you might get sick of it. You might not want to do it anymore. And if you just keep doing temporary self-care, you're just not going to get anywhere either. All right. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.